Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will discuss about the multiplication and division procedure of decimal numbers. You know about decimal numbers, right? Like decimal fractions. And in case of decimal multiplication or any kind of multiplication, basically two numbers are involved. One of them is called multiplicand and another one is called multiplier, which is multiplying is called multiplier. And in case of division, the number what is getting divided is called dividend, and the number which divides the dividend is called divisor. The result what comes out is called quotient, and if some remaining is there, then it is called remainder. Now, all these basic procedures of multiplication and division of numbers are known to all of you that I know. But how the decimal numbers or decimal fractions will be multiplied, or better to say how a decimal number will multiply another decimal number, following which procedure, or how a decimal number will divide another decimal number, by which procedure, will be discussed in today's class. Hope this video will be helpful for all of you. So let's begin. So our today's topic of discussion is multiplication of decimal numbers. Suppose I am considering a decimal number 6.235. Now this decimal number can be multiplied with some integer or can be multiplied with another decimal fraction or decimal number. Now what will happen if it be multiplied with that kind of integer which has 1 and 0 only, that is in the form of 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 and so on, then what will be the result? Let's find. 6.235 suppose is multiplied by 10. Okay, this is an integer. The multiplier is an integer in that case. And hence it is 10. So we get after 1, there is only 1 0. So the decimal, the rule says the decimal will just be shifted for one place to the right hand side. So it will be shifted after 2. Okay, so directly you can write down the answer in this case. It will be 62.35. Right? Now, suppose it is getting multiplied by 100. So, how many zeros there are there after 1? Only 2 zeros are there. So, by rule, decimal will be shifted for 2 places to the right hand side, of your right hand side. So, the result will be 623.5. Right? Similarly, if it be multiplied with 1000, then we get 3 zeros are there after 1. So the decimal will be shifted for 3 places. That is 6235. The result will be 6235. Similarly, if it be multiplied with 10,000, then after 1, how many zeros do we get? 4 zeros are there. So decimal will be shifted to the right hand side for 4 places. Now 1 place, 2 place, 3 place, but there is no 4th place. Okay, so what will we do? We will just put a 0. That is 62350 will be the answer in that case. So this is the procedure of multiplying a decimal number by some kind of integer like 10, 100, 1000 and so on. Now here we have seen that the multipliers are either 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000, and here we have just counted the number of zeros in those numbers and we have shifted the decimal and directly have written the answers, right? Now always it will not happen. Suppose the multiplier is of some other type. Suppose 6.235 is getting multiplied by 27. This is also another integer, right? So how will you multiply? Let's see. 6.235 is getting multiplied with 27. You know the procedure of multiplication, long multiplication, right? So just follow those rules of long multiplication. Forget about decimal. Don't think that it is a decimal number. Like as you are multiplying 6,235 by 27. Just first think about it. Think like this. Okay. So now 7, as we know, the method of long multiplication. 7, 5 7 35, 3 4 2 is there, 6 1 is there, 43. Then 0 0 is there, 1 7 4 12. So as according to the method of long multiplication, you have to just add these numbers, 4 8 6 1, right? So first of all, what we have to do, we have to just forget about decimal. We have to just multiply the numbers by following the same procedure of long multiplication, right? Now you have to do something. What is that? You have to count the number of places after decimal. How many places are there after decimal? 1 2 3. 3 places are there after decimal, right? Considering both multiplicand and multiplier. The multiplier is an integer, so there is no such place after decimal. Zeros are there. So in case of multiplicand, we find 1 2 3, 3 places are there, right? So in the answer only, you have to count 3 places from right to left and have to put the decimal. So 1 2 3. So the decimal will be here. So the answer is 168.345, right? Now let's multiply another 2 decimal numbers. Like suppose I am taking 6.235 into 2.5. Suppose these 2 numbers are considered, 6.235 and 2.5. So both the numbers are decimal numbers, right? What will we do? Just write down the numbers. Then what did I tell you? Just forget about the decimal. Like as you are multiplying 6,235 by 25. Forget about the decimal at first, right? Don't cancel anything, just forget, right? Just now follow the procedure of long multiplication. 5 5s are 25, 5 2 is there, 7 1 1 31, 1 7 4 12. Now 5 7 8 5 5 1, right? Just the multiplication, normal multiplication is done. Now what you have to do, you have to count the number of places after decimal in both multiplicand and multiplier. How many places are there? 1 2 3 4. Considering both, we get 4 places in total after decimal, right? So from right to left, you have to just count 4 places and have to put the decimal in the answer only. 1 2 3 4. So decimal will be over here. So the answer is 15.5875. Hope you all have understood the procedure of multiplication of decimal numbers. Now we will discuss about division of decimal numbers. That is, we will see how the decimal numbers can be divided. Look, in this case, the divisors may be of different types. Either it is an integer or it is a decimal number, okay? And among integers also we may get such divisors which are either 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 and so on. Then how the decimal number will be divided in all these cases? Let's see them. Suppose I am considering a decimal number like 27.65 and suppose it is getting divided by 10. So here we get after 1, only 1 0 is there. So in case of division of decimal number, when it is getting divided by such a divisor, the decimal will just be shifted to the left hand side, your left hand side, okay? And for how many places? Only for 1 place, because after 1 we get only 1 0 is there. I repeat, in the divisor we get 10, like some tens, either 10 or 100 or 1000. In all the cases the same rule will be used. And here after 1 we get 0 in the divisor, 1 0 in the divisor. So the decimal will be shifted to the left hand side for only 1 place. Okay, and hence it will be hence it will be 2.765, right? Similarly, if we divide 27.65 by 100, that is in the divisor, after 1 we get 2 zeros are there. So the decimal will be shifted to the left hand side for how many places? Yes, for 2 places. So here the result will be 0.2765. If it is divided by 1000, so after 1 how many zeros are there? 3 zeros are there. So the decimal will be shifted to the left hand side for how many places? 3 places. And hence it will be 0.02765, right? So this is the procedure of dividing a decimal number by 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, these types of divisor. Now let's take another example. Suppose 9.744 is divided by 35. While you are dividing a decimal number, make sure the divisor is free from decimal. That is, the divisor is an integer. If it is not so, then what we will do, I will show you in the next example. Here in the given question, the divisor is itself an integer. So let's start the calculation. Here 35 is dividing 9.744. Just forget about the decimal in the dividend. Forget. Don't cancel anything. As if you are dividing 9744 by 35. Only the decimal will be mentioned in the quotient portion, not anywhere in the calculation part. Okay. Let's begin the calculation. First of all, let's consider 9. Will 35 divide 9? No. So we must take 97, which is after decimal. So that's why we will put a decimal in the quotient. Now how many times 35 will go in 97? Yes, 2 times. So 2, 70. After subtraction we get 27. Now 4 will come down by the rule of division. How many times this 35 will go into 74? I think it is 7 times. Yes, 7 times. So 5, 3, 245. After subtraction we get 9, 2, 29. Now last 4 is coming down. 294. How many times 35 goes in 294? It is, I think, 8 times. Let's see. 4, 280. Yes. So now this is 4, 1. Okay. Still we have remainder. What we will do? There is another rule of decimal division. That is, if in the quotient you have a decimal, then at any step you can take 1 0. Okay. So here 1 0 can be taken. But after getting this 1 0, if you see that you need another 0, okay, then you must put a 0 in the quotient, that is in the place of this 0, you must put a 0. Then as decimal is there, you can take another 0. Right? Remember this rule. It's a very important rule. Now let's see how many times does it go. I think it will go for 4 times. Yes. And hence we get the remainder as 0. So what is the result? So answer is 0.2784. So this is the quotient. So what we have to remember in case of decimal division, the divisor should be an integer. If it is not so, then we have to convert it. Now let's consider another problem. Suppose 8.8788 is divided by 2.45. 8.8788 is divided by 2.45. And here in the divisor you can see decimal is present. What you will do? As I have told you, it must be converted to an integer. And we can see after decimal in the divisor, 2 places are there. So obviously if it be multiplied by 100, then the decimal will be after 5, that is, it will be converted to an integer in that case. Right? So now Let's multiply it with 100. So it is converted to 245, right? But you are dividing divisor by 100 and you are not, multiplying divisor by 100, but you are not multiplying the dividend by 100. It will not go. You must also multiply the dividend by the same number. Otherwise, the balance will be disturbed, right? So now let's multiply this dividend also by 100. So it will be 887.88. Okay. Therefore, the dividend is now 887.88 and the divisor is an integer 245. Okay. Make sure, students, our main aim will be the divisor. We'll get the divisor as an integer. But in that case, if the dividend will also be multiplied in that case. But if the dividend be converted to a whole number or an integer also, then it's well and good. But if it is not converted so, then leave it as it is. That is, we are least bothered about dividend, whether it is free from decimal or whether it is an integer, whether it is a decimal number. We are concerned about the divisor. That must be converted to an integer if it is not so in the given question. Clear? So now this 245 will divide 887.88. So how many times 245 will go? Look, considering 8 we get, it will not be divisible. 88, it will also not be divided. We cannot divide this. If it is 887, then 245 will go in it. For how many times? For 3 times, I think. Yes. 5, 1 is there, 7, 3, 5. So 2, 5, 1. Now this 8 will come down, but make sure after decimal we get this 8. So obviously in the quotient you must write this decimal. Now as if we are dividing 1528 by 245. Then how many times will it go? I think for 6 times. So 0, 3 is there. 7, 2 is there, 1470. After subtraction we get 8, 5, 5, 8. Now the last 8 will come down, 588. How many times this 245 will go in 588? I think it is 2 times. So this is 90, this is 4. And after subtraction we get 8, 9, yes, 98. Now as you know, decimal is there in the quotient. So, 10 can be taken in any step of the calculation. But again, remember, if we need in one single step more than 10, then we must take a 0. We must place a 0 in the place of that 0, the first 0, and then the second 0 should be taken. In case of taking 2 zeros or more than 2 zeros in one single step. But in every step, 1 0 at most can be taken if decimal is there in the quotient. So now this 0 can be taken, 980. How many times will it go? I think 4 times. Yes. So the remainder is 0. So what is the answer? Answer is 3.624. So this is the procedure of decimal division. You must remember that the divisor should be an integer, and in order to do so, in order to converting the divisor to integer, if the dividend is also converting to an integer, then it's also good. If it is not getting converted, then just we must divide it as it is. Okay. So in today's video, we have seen that how the decimal numbers can be multiplied as well as can be divided. And here we have taken different multipliers as well as different types of divisors, and the procedures of divisions or the procedures of multiplications by those divisors or multipliers respectively have been shown to you. Hope you all have understood the procedures of decimal multiplications as well as of division. Make sure this concept is not very important for examination purpose or else, but it is also very much important for our daily life. In our everyday life, we also use this kind of calculations, we also have to do this kind of calculations. We use decimal numbers for different purposes, isn't it? So this concept is very important concept. Please watch the video properly so that you can understand these procedures more accurately, and also different problem sums what are there in your textbook can be solved by you by using these procedures of calculations. Hope this video is helpful for all of you. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.